certainty of death, small chance of success. What are we waiting for?
Fellas, I feel this is my lucky day.
Brilliant.
And welcome to another episode of Rankum. It's going to be a fun one today. We're talking about TV show spin-offs, which should be an interesting list. But we've got a great panel here. Haven't seen them in a while, but we've got JTH. JTH, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. I'm very curious to see how this list is going to turn out with everybody out there. We were given the long Wikipedia list of all the qualified TV spin-off shows, all 331 of them. No, I just made that number up. I just felt it sounded believable. I
believed you.
Oh, that was the whole point. Yeah, I think the first couple nominees on this, I think, is really going to tell what everybody thinks is actually a spin-off. So this list could be very, very interesting. So hold on to your hats, folks.
Yeah. And we've also got, and I decided I had to call Wolf. Wolf, how's it going?
Yes, going well. I had a struggle at first until you all sent me the Wikipedia page and doing some other research. I had a struggle with trying to figure out what were spin-off shows at first, because I was like, man, there's like remakes, there's like reboots, there's like sequel series, but like what are spin-offs? Like I don't know what would be. And then I was able to figure it out. But I'm excited because a lot of these shows that we're going to be talking about today, I really like a lot. So,
and we've also got Richie here. Richie, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm going all right. Keep an eye out for me and Jordan's spin-off show, the together marks, where we all find happiness and love, and we talk wrestling. And
last but not least, we've got JPO. JPO, how's it going?
I like that show, but the older I get, the more that show sounds like science fiction to me. No, this will be fun here. There's some great ones to talk about. This could be one of those weird episodes where maybe we'll go quick, maybe we'll end up going long. We'll see.
But with that, how this show works is each get a nominated TV show that you think belongs on this list. And one of the things I did say is like these are all going to be shows that are spun out of other TV shows, so I'm not allowing things that are technically spun out of a movie because I've done that episode before. So, and then everyone else say yes or no to the TV show, and then if it gets more the majority yeses, then we'll make the list. JTH was the first TV show you're going to bring out.
Well, I think I'm going to put in one that I think would be a crime if it did not make this list. And it's also a show that I think many people probably don't even know is actually a spinoff. We're going all the way back to the 60s, a spinoff of the original Danny Thomas show. I'm nominating the Andy Griffith Show. This is pretty much a show that I seldom to think where television sitcoms and television in general would be without the Andy Griffith Show. Pretty much a culturally iconic TV show, even to this day. Elements of Andy Griffith is still used to this day in pretty much all facets of pop culture and media, and characters that have stood the test of time for in nearly 70 years that it's been on the air, still in syndication to this day. So, that's going to be my first nomination. I'm going to put up the Andy Griffith Show.
Wolf, what do you say about the Andy Griffith Show?
I love the theme song. So, it's an iconic theme song. And for all of you who make fun of me, calling me a youngin', I want you to know I also grew up with this show, okay?
No, you did not.
There you go. No, I did. I would watch reruns. My parents raised me right. They would make me watch reruns.
Fair enough. I think you meant like an original airing.
No, no, not originally. I did grow up with reruns, though. And yeah, I loved the show growing up, and yeah, it was interesting too seeing the actor, forget who plays him, but actually the actor playing Andy Griffith, because didn't he like play a bunch of villains before this too, like, or something like that? If I'm thinking correctly, like I heard something like that, like people were not used to him playing this kind of part when he was in the show, but he's brilliant. Everyone else is brilliant in here. It's just very, very good. So yeah, I'll definitely say yes to Andy Griffith.
Richie, what do you say about the Andy Griffith show?
Yeah, I think I've seen a couple episodes because I think like my my grandma's watching reruns. Yeah, but like and I liked it enough, and I think it's iconic enough that it should probably be. If we're talking about TV spin-offs, I think it should be on the list. So I will give it. I'll give it a yes. Even I don't have like a my viewing of it isn't like it's very limited. But I'll still say yes.
JPO, what do you say about the Andy Griffith show?
Yeah, it's not my favorite old school sitcom, but it definitely has its moments, and I do like Don Knotts a lot. So, for it kind of being iconic and whatnot, it won't be super high on my voting, but I'll say yes.
Yeah, and honestly, this is one of those ones I actually didn't realize was a spin-off. But I've also never seen the show either, so I don't really have any connection to this at all. But then it's still going to make the list. Wolf, we go to you for your first nomination.
So the first nomination, it's in the title. You got to give him a call. Better Call Saul. This is, to me, a show that a show is really good when you can actually make a debate on if it's better than Breaking Bad. Like there's debates out there that people say about it, and honestly, I can see it. The way I look at it is Breaking Bad is the better show, but Better Call Saul had a better series finale. That series finale is like that was like the swan song to like golden age television. It was beautiful. I thought Bob Odenkirk was excellent. Rhea Seehorn, everybody in here is incredible, and Vince Gilligan, greatest writer in television, in my opinion. Cannot wait to see what he does next. It's like when this show was originally announced, people were like, "Really? You're doing the goofy lawyer guy? Why him?" Like everyone at first was like thinking that, and then once they actually saw it, their minds completely changed because this is brilliant, and it's a crime that it went without any Emmy wins throughout its entire 6-year run. It is a complete crime, and that is a travesty because it's one of the top 5 greatest shows of all time, in my opinion. It's so good. So, yeah.
Richie, what do you say about Better Call Saul?
Yeah, I think it needs to be on this list. Yeah, I just like it. When I think of TV spin-offs, it's one that one immediately gets sprung to mind. Yeah, I don't know if I like it as much as Breaking Bad, but it's close. It is close, and the fact that it's close means that it is it's an accomplishment. So, I will definitely say yes.
JPO, what do you say about Better Call Saul?
Oh hell yes! This is a huge yes. This is one of like the 2 or 3 shows that like I would write and leave if this didn't get through somehow. I was late to the party a little bit here because I kind of was like, I love Breaking Bad, I love Bob Odenkirk, but I don't know if that character can sustain his own show. It got such good ratings and reviews that like I finally checked it out before the last season, and I binged it and then watched the last season organically, like week to week. I love it. I think it's great storytelling, wonderfully shot. Great. Guest actors too popping up. It's a wonderful show. So absolutely.
Yeah, one of these days I'll get around to watching Breaking Bad, and one of these days I'll get around to Better Call Saul. It's been on my radar. I just didn't really have a lot of time this week to binge watch 2 shows.
I would be very curious. I've never talked to anyone who's done this. If you do that, I want you to actually start off with Better Call Saul and then go to Breaking Bad. Everyone does Breaking, obviously because of the release order, they went Breaking Bad then Better Call Saul, but Better Call Saul is a prequel. So I'd be actually curious.
It's both though.
It would be like, yeah,
I don't know.
I guess
you might need to do Breaking Bad first.
Yeah, maybe.
But JTH, what do you say about Better Call Saul?
Yeah, I would have said yes too. I'm kind of like you, Malcolm. I'm usually a very late bloomer when it comes to really good TV shows. It's not that I don't really have any interest. I just usually like to see how the general consensus is from a lot of people. So I came in really late on this show and was really happy that I gave it a chance. I'm not going to go top 5, but it's definitely one of my favorite shows within the last little while. So it would be a yes for me too.
But that Better Call Saul is going to make the list. And Richie, we go to you. What are you going to bring up next?
All right, I'll just sing a song. Baby, I'm hearing the blues are calling, tossed salad and scrambled eggs. Yeah.
They're calling again.
I'm not I'm not even much of like a sitcom kind of guy, but I love Frasier. Frasier Frasier's great, and spin-off of Cheers, and yeah, there's a few of them. This was probably the most successful one, and it's been so good. It's been rebooted again. I haven't actually watched the reboot, the sort of reboot of it, but I really like the original series. I think it's all the characters are great. Kelsey Grammer's great. David Hyde Pierce is great, and I just think it's just a really well written show. And that obviously has a great, is beloved and has a great audience, and it has a big audience, and that's I just think it's just one of those great comfort shows. So I think it's worthy of this list. So I'll bring it up. So Frasier, Frasier.
JPO, what do you say about Frasier?
Yeah, this is a show I warmed up to over the years. I know this one a lot. It's definitely on my list, top 5 or so. So, I think it's great. I haven't seen the new one at all, but that's not what we're talking about in general. We're talking about the OG. Frasier, Niles, their chemistry is great. The father, I love how he's so different. Yeah, it's a great show.
I like how we're getting out all the iconic shows I haven't watched at first. Look, and once again, it's another one of those shows that I've been meaning to get around to watching, just haven't had the time. JDH, what do you say about Frasier?
It's a definite yes for me. I'm still a little bit more Team Cheers. Maybe that's just probably a little bit more nostalgia for me, just because I watched it growing up with my mom and dad. But Frasier's an excellent show. It's one of those another one of those shows that's definitely stood the test of time. Still has rewatchability even to this day. Yes, it's a yes for me.
And Wolf, what do you say about Frasier?
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier that some of these shows I actually like more than the shows that they spun off of, and for me, that is Frasier. I really like Cheers a lot. I'm not knocking Cheers, but to me, Frasier is just brilliant. I love that even more. I've seen it multiple times. I thought that Kelsey Grammer was excellent in the show, and just everything works so well. So I'll definitely say yes to Frasier.
And with that, Frasier is going to make the list. JPO, what is your first nomination?
Okay.
Shut the fuck up, Wolf. I'm going to go for Angel. The spinoff to Buffy the Vampire Slayer here. They took Angel right after the 3rd season of Buffy here, but Tormented. Vampire now knows of what he's done, and he has to go to the other world after his failed relationship with Buffy. For 5 seasons, we got some great David Boreanaz stuff here. Great also theme song to begin with here. Again, I don't know, but he was a great person for directing, but he was a great writer. Joss Whedon, from the humor to the action to the heart. It's a great show, Angel.
I'm still making my way through Buffy, so I haven't got around to starting Angel yet. It will be one.
Why did you put this on the to vote for, man?
You can get a 6th panelist and just host. If you're not good at the top.
Look, there's a lot of spin-offs I've seen. You're just getting the shows haven't got around to seeing first.
He's seen all the other 327 TV spin-offs that I mentioned.
JDH, what do you say about Angel?
So I have not gotten completely through Angel, but I have definitely seen enough of it to really, really enjoy it. I will very slightly give it a yes, because there's definitely some other shows that I think I would have put a little bit ahead of it, but I would have no problem with it being on the list. So I will give it a slight yes.
Wolf, what do you say about Angel?
You are gonna think of me as a demon right now because I have not seen a single episode of Angel. So yeah, I know. Right?
Richie, what do you say about Angel?
I'm glad I muted myself when after Wolfman's joke. God, fuck me. No. Angel is definitely like up there. I was going to bring up. I figured JP would bring it up because of the Buffy thing, but I'm a huge fan of Buffy, and probably Buffy's still like better, but Angel's still pretty solid here, and sort of when I got my some introduction to David Boreanaz, I think he just goes from TV project to TV project because that dude's been working in TV. Yeah, like that. That dude.
I believe he has a
pretty much-
record because he didn't have any gaps. He like did this, then did Bones directly for years, then did like SEAL Team or whatever for several years. Like he never skipped a year.
Yeah, so that dude's working, and Angel's good. So I'll say yes.
But Angel is going to make the list.
I won't have to rage quit. Sweet.
Nice.
All right. On to me.
So what have you seen? Huh?
We're going to find out
Well-
in 3 seconds.
I'm the first one I'm going to bring up is one that I think a lot of people forget is a spin-off show. I'm bringing up one of my favorite sort of crime procedurals, NCIS, which is a spin-off from the TV show Jag. I think NCIS is a really good show. It's also got plenty of spin-offs itself, but the original NCIS is one that I always watched a lot. And it's just one that I think is great, and it's one that I've been meaning to actually go back to and watch from the start, but I like it enough. So, yeah. JDH, what do you say about NCIS?
NCIS kind of falls in that same boat with Angel to me, where I would not have a problem if it made the list. Obviously, there's a lot of NCISs out there that I haven't actually gotten around to seeing, but I guess those are the ones that technically don't maybe count as spinoffs. Not, but if we're talking the original NCIS, I think I have seen enough of that to know that I would again give it a slight yes for it to make the list.
Wolf, what do you say about NCIS?
Okay, Michael, I love you, buddy, but you've seen all of this show, correct? NCIS, right? Or just
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm like, man, all the shows we've mentioned, like you could have seen before you were even done with NCIS because of how many seasons that show has. Like, god damn, that show I've not seen it because of it's like 21 seasons or some shit. It's like ridiculous how far up that it's gone. And for me, like I have a tough time with shows like that because, and I'm someone who binged It's Always Sunny, but the difference is It's Always Sunny was 16 seasons, and they were all like 20 something minutes long. This is like 20 seasons and is like 43 minutes to an hour long every episode. And so it's just like, I don't have that much time in my day. So I actually applaud you for being able to watch this whole show. Cause I watched like an episode. Then I realized like, I looked at like Netflix and scrolled through all the seasons. It was just like, I don't have time for this. I was just like, and I never finished it. So I can't really say my opinion on it.
Yeah. Contrary to that, like this is one of those ones I actually watched since it's the first start. It's not one I actually started late, like I've started like Buffy and stuff like that. So
Okay.
this is what I watched since the first start. A lot of these other shows just either didn't come up a lot on channels that I watched a lot. But yeah. Anyway, Richie, what do you say about NCIS?
Yeah, I've seen enough of it to sort of make a comment on it. Yeah, I like NCIS a lot. Probably, I try and watch like that sort of procedural stuff as much as I can. There's a lot of them. I did finish watching the first season of NCIS Sydney the other day. Yeah, that's I don't know how many Australian spin-offs are going to do. I don't know if you're going to see NCIS Adelaide anytime soon. But that's I do like NCIS my dog that I used to have passed away. Her name was Abby, and named her after the Paulie Produce character from the show. So so I will. I'll definitely say yes because I had thought about bringing it up. But yeah. I'm not going to binge watch 21 seasons, but it's a good show. Don't play the video game. The video game sucks.
JPO, what do you say about NCIS?
I've dabbled here and there, and I've enjoyed to a degree what I've seen. It's never really hooked me to ever keep me for even like a full season, so it would have been a little bit of a no for me.
That NCIS is still going to make the list. JTH, what's the next show you're going to bring up?
So I'm curious to where everyone's going to stand on this one, because the original series that this was spun off of is widely popular for many people. But I actually think that this one was actually a very good interpretation of a brand new character that we hadn't seen in the comic book lore at the time. I'm going to throw out Batman Beyond because to me, this was a show that had a very interesting take on a new Batman persona. The story of Terry McGinnis was very interesting to see, and basically seeing how an older, aging Bruce Wayne kind of dealt with all the burdens and problems that he dealt with his entire span as Batman. So it really set like a new layer of the Bruce Wayne character, gave you a very interesting new Batman and a whole variety of brand new villains. And some older villains came back too. So to me, it was a great mix of new and old. And I'm going to be curious to see where everyone falls on this one. So I'm throwing out Batman Beyond.
Wolf, what do you say about Batman Beyond?
Man, I'm glad you mentioned this. I totally forgot it was a spin-off show. Yeah, I grew up with Batman Beyond as well. And excellent animated series. I wish DC could make Batman Beyond into a live action film. Like, I really hope that happens one day. John Campea has this weird opinion where he's like, "Oh, they can't because like the way Batman Beyond is, no audiences would want that or whatever." And I'm just like, dude, people are clamoring for it. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know. You keep on saying this weird shit like that, but it's
people need to stop pretending that John Campea is a be on end all. He's one guy's opinion, and he's an idiot. Anyway,
exactly. But yeah. I love Batman Beyond, and I'm glad you brought up something animated because if you weren't, I had another animated show in mind. So I'll definitely, but yeah, I'll say yes to Batman Beyond.
Richie, what do you say about Batman Beyond? If he's there,
have not seen it, so I can't really say. I mean, I'll probably like it. So yeah, but I don't know if I probably should abstain.
JPO, what do you say about Batman Beyond?
I'm so glad you guys are on board with me. It's a big yes for me as well. No, I grew up on the animated series from Batman, one of the greatest series of all time, and I mean that literally a series, not even like a caveat of cartoon. And this is a really good kind of follow up too. Yeah, live action would be dope. I remember for years I was championing like let's that's how we bring back Keaton before the Flash. Like I was like, oh, Keaton as Bruce would be great, leading a young Terry McGinnis. Maybe it could have been Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Like, there's definitely ways of doing it for sure. I love the new version of the Joker. There's the spin-off movies, Return of the Joker and whatnot is pretty good. So, yeah, I like this. It was a fun new way in. Still pretty good writing. Yeah, I dug it a lot.
Yeah, and I actually watched this a lot growing up. I actually watched this and I had never seen like the original Batman animated series until this year when it was put on Netflix. But yeah, Batman Beyond I think is excellent and it was just a great show. So it's an easy yes for me as well. So Batman Beyond is going to make the list and we're going to go back to Wolf.
Ooh, okay, so I'm trying to see if I want to take a risk here, or if I want to actually, or if I and say something I'm passionate about, but none of y'all will probably vote yes, or if I wanted to say something that could potentially get yeses. You know what? I'll let passion good run through me right now, and I'll mention a show that it has not ended yet. It is still going, but talking about how the original show was widely popular.
Say what it is.
This is another one that is widely popular, and that is House of the Dragon. The reason I'm saying House of the Dragon is because this show arguably is better than Game of Thrones right now. Like the way the writing is, the way each character's arc has been going. I, as someone who has attempted to read the book, I haven't finished it, but I'm attempting to. It is dense. It is very faithful to the book, very faithful to these characters, and I'm very interested to see where they go with this. And I love the politics and the lore building and everything. So, and plus my girl Olivia Cook, I love her. She's awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna go House of the Dragon.
Richie, what do you say about House of the Dragon?
So yeah, I mean, you kind of answered it for me because I like House of the Dragon. The thing is, you know, sometimes like shows can fall off. That's the thing. It's like it's hard to sort of make a full on judgment and having in this show.
It's HBO though. It's not. It's like very rarely do they fall off. Very rarely.
Yeah, my turn now. Yeah, and yeah, like I just haven't. Like I mean, it doesn't grab me as much as Game of Thrones so far, but I don't. Very few things will. So I don't know. I think there's spots here for things that like have had their run that could probably do as more deserving. But hey, if we ever did a Redux when maybe House of Dragon finishes, then sure, put on the list. But I'm gonna say slight no.
JPO, what do you say about House of the Dragon?
I just really haven't seen it, so it's a no based on that.
Yeah, I never cared for Game of Thrones. Like, I could barely make it through the first season. I haven't bothered trying to watch House of the Dragon. JDH, what would you have said about House of the Dragon?
To me, it's still a little too early, since obviously it's not ended yet to put it on a top 12 all-time list. It's like the same thing people are trying to make the case for like X-Men 97. It's like, can we pump the brakes a little bit? It's 10 episodes in. It's like, I don't think we can call something that's one season in, 10 episodes through, one of the greatest shows of all time, spinoffs of all time. To me, I feel like we need to let it run its course a little bit more before we can put a proper judgment on it. So I would have to say no.
There has been 2 seasons of House of Dragon, but that's still, I get you what I mean. That's not enough to,
I mean, if that House of Dragon isn't going to make the list, Richie, what is the next show you're going to bring out?
Let's go at more fun route. Let's go. Here it goes. We're gonna go Kenan and Kel, a spin-off of all that. I like Kenan and Kel a lot. Childhood here. Like it was a regular sort of afternoon viewing, sort of right in New Zealand. It was right after like all that. So yeah, it was a fun time, and I still. I'll catch like episodes here and there when they're on, when I find them, and I still think they hold up, and I don't know, while I didn't, I still dig Kenan and Kel's chemistry, and and it was good to see them back in Good Burger 2, even though maybe the movie is not great, but their chemistry is still there, and that sort of started with all that and Kenan and Kel, and I think Kenan and Kel is great. So I'll shoot my shot. I don't know, probably not pick high people's list, but
it's kind of funny because I remember when we did a TV theme songs and Kenan and Kel came up, and I think Malcolm, I can't remember who it was, but I remember somebody saying like, "I'll give you $1 if you can name one lyric from the actual theme song." And it's like, and it was just one of those cases where Kenan and Kel is just a lot of fun, but we'll see what everyone else thinks.
JPO, what do you say about Kenan and Kel?
Well, I was tempted to just sing the whole theme song, like everybody go out there, go run and tell your homeboys, your homegirls, time for Kenan and Kel. They keep you laughing in the afternoon, so don't touch that down or leave the room. Did I have the Google sheet up? Maybe I did. I don't know. But
why weren't you there for that video?
No, I enjoyed Coolio, baby. Coolio. Shout out to Coolio. No, I fell in love with this. I'm a kid that loved all that. I loved Kenan and Kel. They were 2 great people. They got to cameo in Rockin' Bullwinkle, and yes, I was excited when Good Burger 2 came out. And so this is a big yes for me because hey, who loves orange soda? JPO loves orange soda. Is it true? Mm-hmm. I do.
Yeah. And I love Ken and Kel. I think it's good. And I'll admit, this is one that when I saw it on the list, I did struggle whether to consider it a spin-off, just because it's one of those ones but it's one of those ones that I get why it's considered a spin-off, and it's one that's like, I love it. I'm gonna say yes to it. I think it's great. JDH, what do you say about Kenan and Kel?
I'm kind of in the same boat with you, Malcolm, because when I saw that on the list, it's like it's a spinoff because they use their real names and all that, and they're using their real names in a show, so therefore it's a spinoff. It's like, ew, that's a really shaky ground there for a spinoff. But yeah, it's a show that I grew up watching a lot. I was definitely a Nickelodeon nut growing up in my youth. So it was all that Kenan and Kel, Friday night, Nick at Night. It was just one of those shows I just loved growing up, and I've always wanted to go out of my way to rewatch it whenever I get an opportunity to. So maybe it's a nostalgia pick. Maybe it's one of those picks where it would be cool to see it on the list, but I have an opportunity to put it on the list, so I'm going to say yes.
Wolf, what do you say about Kenan and Kel?
The Nickelodeon shows. I was hoping someone would bring up a Nickelodeon show. I was like, which one are they going to bring up? Drake and Josh? Are they going to bring up Sam and Cat? Which one are they going to bring up? So I'm glad they brought up this one, Kenan and Kel. This one's a really great one. And despite what the documentary was telling us, we can still enjoy these Nickelodeon
Man, why did you
shows.
take a doc, man?
So it's like, so I'll say a yes to Kenan and Kel. Kenan Thompson's fun. Their chemistry is great here. I just think that it's one that was excellent when I saw reruns as like a kid. So yeah.
I think Kenan and Kel is going to make the list. We go back to JPO.
All right. I don't think you can argue this one. I don't think. Spun off from the Tracy Ullman Show to become one of the greatest cartoon comedies of all time, The Simpsons. It definitely has to be on the list here. Again, just a few minute segments on that one show, very kind of crudely drawn. Even season 1 is kind of crudely drawn to a degree. Different voices too. Homer doesn't sound the same, even though it is still Dan Castellaneta. It's one of those shows that there's definitely peak seasons. Let's say, I don't know, maybe 3 to 7 that are just Conan O'Brien's writing. It's so funny, so great. And even still to these last few seasons, unlike Family Guy, where like this just the writing has dived. While it's not like the number one show, and I'm not like telling you to run out there. If you still want a good time though, it's still a pretty good show, and you got to give it credit for reaching year 30, and it's still pretty good. Like the show's never become bad. It just maybe because it's 30 years, some people have trailed off over time. But when it was good, it was absolutely great. And one of the best written shows of that year. Again, not just talking cartoon, talking just in general. I think one of the best written and funniest shows of all time.
Yeah, I love The Simpsons. I think it's great, and it's one of those ones like to add to JPO's point. It's one of those ones like I've always found it funny. Like I've never felt the humor trail off it at all. So it's one of those ones like it's just the humor always hits me personally, and I think it's a lot of fun. And and it's one of those ones. This is one of those spin-off shows I think is really eclipsed like the actual show it's spun out of. It's like a lot of people forget it's a spin-off for that reason. But it's an easy yes for me for The Simpsons. JDH, what do you say about it?
I mean, just the longevity alone would make it a yes. Simpsons has never personally been my cup of tea. There was always a lot of other things during the Fox animation era that I was kind of drawn more to, like King of the Hill and other shows like that. But it would be very irresponsible of me on a best TV spinoff show to not include The Simpsons. I think it's pretty much earned its way, just based on default. So I will say yes.
Wolf, what do you say about The Simpsons?
Speaking of the King of the Hill, I heard they're doing a new one, new King of the Hill, which is like kind of cool. So,
David Wolfman,
But Simpsons. I'm not that big of a fan of The Simpsons. I think the show itself is kind of overrated, but the ride is really fun at Universal. And
Right, you're gonna vote yes based on the right.
What the fuck?
no, it is. Can I speak honestly here? It's my turn to speak, guys. Okay, the ride is fun at Universal, and I'm also voting yes because the movie is really good. I enjoy the movie, but I don't really enjoy the series that much. So, so yeah, I'll still say yes because of the iconicness of it and just the fact it's lasted this long and just how big the show itself is. So, yeah.
I do like
Quote
that
Homer.
I like an hour and 45 minutes of The Simpsons, but 23 minutes that crosses the line.
No.
It's like if you combine all 36 seasons, that's like well over how long the movie is. So that's what I'm saying. I can't watch a whole season.
Well, no one's asking you to just sit there.
But anyway, Richie, what can you say about The Simpsons?
This should be like one of the top ones. But, yeah,
Richie's gonna say no, but he does like the Simpsons wrestling video game, so that makes it yes.
Yeah. And that game's one of the worst games of all time. That game.
Hey, ride the ride at Universal, then come back to me, okay?
And the arcade game made it a definite yes.
I mean, it's a weird way to get to yes, but we got to yes. Thanks, Wolf. But yes, the Simpsons wrestling aside and some other bad games, the actual Simpsons is good. And I don't think. I mean, it trailed off for me a little bit, but not like. There's only really a couple of like stand-up bad episodes. The other ones have been fun. The other ones are good. And look, I even though it's hard for me to hear this Family Guy hate. I guess I guess you're not going to bring up the Cleveland show. But
I never said the Cleveland show was bad. I said Family Guy the last few years has been bad.
Yeah. So, but Simpsons. Yeah, that's a yes. Obviously, it's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. Season 3 to 10. I love season 3 to 10.
Yeah. But just stick with the theme of The Simpsons in wrestling. I do find it crazy that like it took like 27 years for another pro wrestler to hit guest star in The Simpsons.
And also, we can thank this show for predicting who became
John Cena was in the season premiere of the latest season. That just
I might have actually missed that. I gotta go watch that.
Yeah,
it was and that was like the last one before that was Bret Hart, right?
Yeah,
of course.
That was Bret Hart.
Bret Hart has his own Simpsons action figure. Come on, man.
And also, let's not forget the Simpsons predicted who became president of the United States. Just saying.
There's several times Simpsons called the future. You can look that up later.
But anyway, moving on. Back to me. I'm gonna try for this one. I don't know how this is actually gonna go because I know how people feel about this verse personally. But I'm bringing up the Flash. Look, I've been a big fan of the Arrowverse, like ever since Arrow, and I've really enjoyed all the spin-offs. Like, it's one of those ones like I get the criticisms of it, like some like people that don't like it that much, but I think the Flash is a lot of fun. I think Grant Gustin was great as the character, and like even the like supporting characters of Cisco and Caitlin and all that, I think it's great. And it's just one of those shows that while I do get the arguments that it probably should have finished when they did Crisis in that, but I still really enjoyed it for what it was. I think it's a lot of fun. So I'm gonna go with Flash, see how it goes. JDH, what do you say about the Flash?
The Flash was a show that started out really strong for me and then kind of teetered off around the very end. I did like enough of the early seasons that I would give it a yes, but kind of just barely. There's a lot of shows in that are kind of on that borderline yes for me. Flash is another one of those shows, so I'll give another slight yes.
Wolf, what do you say about the Flash?
Well, we've already got 7 shows listed here. For me, even if it was a borderline yes. I don't think I can go with borderline yeses at this point. I have to go with shows that are like full on like yes, because it's like we're really getting down to the nitty gritty here. And I just feel like The Flash, when we're talking like of all time, like I have to think of a show that at least was either has the popularity enough or has had like has been strong enough through its entire run. And I just feel like The Flash, it was good, like very good the first season. Second season was good, and then after the second season, it just completely went down from there. So because of that, and there's some other classic sitcoms on here we haven't mentioned. There's some other kind of shows that are still on this list that I feel like really should be mentioned. I'm gonna say no, unfortunately.
Richie, what do you say about The Flash?
Look, Wolf, we'll get to Joey, okay? That's fine. But no, but I'm not a huge fan of The Flash, to be honest. I'm just not an Arrowverse guy. I tried to get into The Flash. I trailed off after the first season, to be honest. So I would say no, but yeah, like what you like.
JPO, what do you say about The Flash?
I'll give it a yes. No, I enjoyed the show here. Yeah, the highs might be in the earlier seasons, but I enjoyed the casting that they had here, and it was one that I was pretty enthralled with for a little while there. So it made my list.
That The Flash is going to make the list. JTH, we go back to you. What is your next nomination?
Okay, I'm going to throw out one of those previously mentioned classic sitcoms. I don't know what he would classify as classic, but I'm going to throw out the spinoff of Perfect Strangers. I'm going to go with Family Matters, another sitcom that's kind of stood the test of time. We've pretty much had numerous documentaries about it, talking about the making of the show and kind of the cultural impact that it made on sitcoms and television in general. And again, more characters that have stood the test of time, dealt with a lot of serious issues, and at the same time managed to put on a really hilarious sitcom for its time. So yeah, I'm going to throw out Family Matters.
Wolf, what do you say about Family Matters?
Dang, you stole mine. It's fine. I have one for my turn too. But yeah, I was also going to mention Family Matters because I really like the show a lot. Urkel's a really fun character, and I actually just recently started watching Perfect Strangers because the guy who is my co-host on my channel, like that's one of his Ross. He's one of my like that is one of his absolute favorite shows of all time. So like I finally been watching Perfect Strangers because of that, and I'm loving Perfect Strangers. I love Family Matters. It's a it's a definite yes for me.
Richie, what do you say about Family Matters?
I haven't really checked it out that much, so I have to abstain. But I know I know how it's a pretty iconic show, so yeah, I get why you bring it up.
JPO, what do you say about Family Matters?
I do like it. I did grow up on it. I've cooled down on it a lot over time. I do think it's kind of a one-note show, and there's just things I have higher on it on the list, so it's a no for me.
Yeah, I didn't even realize this was a spin-off, to be honest.
I didn't know until research.
Yeah, but yeah, this is one of those shows I've seen bits and pieces of. I haven't sat down to watch like a full season or anything, so it would have just been a slight no. I do like the show episodes I've seen, but yeah. Wolf was the next show you're going to bring up.
All right, let's see if y'all will go with this classic sitcom then. This is from 1978. Nano. I gotta go with Mork and Mindy. Robin Williams, like first major role that he did. He cameoed in Happy Days, of course, as the character of Mork, and then he got to have his own show, which lasted, I think, like 3 seasons. Something around there. I would always watch the show. I got back when DVD Netflix was a thing. I kept on getting seasons of the show. We just and I just would binge it all the time and watch it. And it was just such a fun show. This really showed Ron Williams like charisma and energy he had, and the chemistry that he had with actress Pam Dalber was excellent. The whole cast here is great. The little talks they'll have with like the alien at the end of each episode, like it teaches you some interesting life lessons and everything in there too. So yeah, I thought I really like Mork and Mindy quite a bit, so I'm going to say Mork and Mindy.
Richie, what do you say about Mork and Mindy?
Which one was it? Sorry, I did hear. There's lots of going on.
Mork and Mindy.
Mork and Mindy.
Oh yeah, Mork and Mindy. Yeah, I've only seen a couple of episodes, to be fair. I know it's where Rob Williams going to start. Yeah, and I know it's sort of iconic, but I don't know. So I'm gonna be pretty more. I would. It didn't really grab me, so I would probably. I would say no, but I don't mind if it makes the list. So it's okay.
JPO, what do you say about Mork and Mindy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm extremely aware of it. It was not one I grew up on. I don't know if this is where I clicked off of TV Land or what. I haven't really seen much of it to say anything.
Yeah, just like Family Matters, this is another one that I've seen like bits and a couple of episodes here and there. Like it's definitely intrigued me enough to want to watch a full season of it and that. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't quite give it a yes based on what I've seen. But JDH, what do you say about Mork and Mindy?
That's unfortunate because I really liked Mork and Mindy.
Yeah.
It was a show that growing up I had no idea was a spinoff because I pretty much had watched Mork and Mindy and never watched Happy Days. It wasn't a show that really intrigued me. So Mork and Mindy I always liked. It was one of the shows that really got me to become a fan of Robin Williams and a lot of his work. But I would have gave it a yes, but unfortunately it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like family doesn't matter to these people. What's wrong with you?
Cold blooded.
Look, I mean, it's one of those ones like there's just some shows that didn't get rerun a lot of down here. But Richie, what is the next show you're going to bring up?
Yeah, a lot of my shows bringing up are just like shows from my childhood, and it will show they're more less sitcom-y, more you'll see. So the next one I'm going to bring up, I'll see how this goes. Darkwing Duck. I love this show. Spin-off of DuckTales, and the show is like they had the most fire theme song, and I really enjoyed it. It was this appointment viewing every morning, and it's a great show, and I hold it even in higher esteem than actual DuckTales. So look, we'll see how this goes. My list is very sort of cartoon centric. Just FYI, there might be other ones to bring up, but there you go. So Darkwing Duck.
JPO, what do you say about Darkwing Duck?
I've probably seen as much as I've seen Mork and Mindy. Not much, so pass.
Yeah, I've never seen DuckTales. It's one of a big blind spot that I haven't seen, but I've seen Darkwing Duck, and I don't think I've seen every episode of it. But I've seen enough to have an opinion on it, and I do think it's really fun. So I'm going to give it a slight yes. JDH, what do you say about Darkwing Duck?
See, this was weird because when I started looking through all the TV spinoffs, by definition, almost every single Disney iteration that's appeared in a cartoon short should have been considered a spinoff. Yet, for whatever reason, a lot of them are not, which really confused me. So when I saw Darkwing Duck, it was a sigh of relief. It was nice to see that show on there. Do I think it's top 12 though? Because I'm looking through here. There's 2 more spots if I'm looking at that right.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it? What's 3 spots? Oh gosh.
It's 3 spots.
3 spots.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've actually had to think about it. Really. I'm probably going to have to give it a slight no. I really liked the show, but to me, it didn't capture me as much as a lot of the other Disney cartoons did during that era. So I would have to give it no based on that.
But Wolf, what do you say about Darkwing Duck?
Never seen it, so can't say anything about it. Never seen that or DuckTales. So,
but I believe Darkwing Duck's are getting a reboot at some stage. I think, from what I've been hearing. But JPO, what is the next show you're going to bring out?
Alrighty, another one I'm gonna hopefully we'll get through. Star Trek: The Next Generation. Make sure there's no qualms. I think it advanced on what the previous one, had set up. I think it's tremendous storytelling. Leaves you thinking. It's smartly written. The cast is still to this day. We're getting kind of the Cedo sequel in Picard that people love. This is the Star Trek that I grew up on loving. For a while, I was more of a Star Trek than Star Wars guy because they were cranking stuff out in the '90s. So TNG, baby.
I don't know too much about Star Trek to sort of know about the shows. Like, I've only just seen the movies for the all the movies for the first time recently when we did just make the Star Trek movies. So I haven't delved into the Star Trek TV shows yet. So I don't really have much opinion on this. JDH, what do you say about the Star Trek Next Generation?
I was curious if this was going to come up because this is one of those shows that I look at and I was like, that's not a spinoff. That's just a sequel series. Like to me, the other show that took place at the exact same time is the actual spinoff show of the Star Trek TV shows. But so I was wondering if someone was going to bring it up, and since it does qualify, to me it is a top 12 spinoff based on that. So I would say yes, even though I don't think it technically actually is what we're ranking. But yeah, I would say yes.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I don't know too much about Star Trek TV shows to have an argument against it. So, but Wolf, what do you say about Star Trek: The Next Generation?
Shoot, y'all are okay. Y'all aren't leaving me aside. Richie still has the final verdict. So I guess whatever I say, he'll still have the final verdict. Because I'm also like I don't know if this technically counts as a spinoff show because it's like that none of the existing characters from the original IP exist within the show or within the universe or anything.
Well,
so,
they did, but very seldomly did they actually show up.
Yeah. So I don't, man. I mean, because of the kind of this popularity it is, and according to AI Overview on Google, and the AI has said that
don't credit the AI. You're part of the problem.
So I guess I'll have to listen to AI this time and say yes. That AI make my decision for me. So there you go.
Don't listen to AI. Be your own man.
We're all a bunch of robots living in.
But Richie, what do you say about Star Trek: The Next Generation?
Yeah, I hear the arguments against. I think I'm not a huge Star Trek guy, but I've seen enough to sort of for it to I think warrant a yes, and it's an iconic series, so I think it deserves placement on this list. So yeah, and I need to do a binge watch at some point soon because I've only seen like sporadic episodes here and there.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those ones like one of these days I will get on to watching the series like that. As far as I know, they're all still on Netflix for me. But yeah, means we go. It is back to me as well. So I don't know how this is going to go because I know the TV show this is a spin-off from is kind of very mixed when they talk about it, but I know a lot of people praise this though, and it's Young Sheldon. Young Sheldon I think is a really fun spin-off, like telling the story of like Sheldon and it was just a lot of fun, like when they could get like the original cast sort of popping up in random cameos, not so much necessarily as their own characters, unless it's a voiceover in that. But it's still, I think the show itself is still a lot of fun. I think it was really fun, and it was just, and the final season was just heartbreaking, especially when you knew that the moment there was going to eventually come. And yeah, but I think it's a good show, and I really enjoyed it. So JDH, what do you say about Young Sheldon?
I never actually got into the Big Bang Theory. I know I've heard a lot of great things about it. I always wanted to give it a chance. It's just not something, because obviously I think there's 7 seasons of that. It was just never something I was actually able to get into and start watching, all the way through. So obviously because of that, I never really actually gave Young Sheldon a chance. It's definitely on my bucket list. I definitely want to start getting around to that. But for the time being, I would have to say no.
Wolf, what do you say about Young Sheldon?
Yeah. So I've seen Big Bang Theory, never watched a single episode of Young Sheldon, and never piqued my interest. I always thought the Sheldon character itself was annoying, so I was like, why would you even make a show off of him? So it never got my interest at all. So I'm gonna say no.
JPO, what do you say about Young Sheldon?
Where'd Richie go?
I don't know.
I'm very similar to Wolf actually here. I've seen every episode of Big Bang Theory. I enjoyed it. It outwore its welcome, but still an enjoyable show. Well, yeah, I thought Sheldon wasn't a great solo character, and every time I tried watching the show, I've seen maybe a handful, like season 1, season 3 kind of thing, and I never got that far into it. It's cutesy, but it's not a show I kept up with, so it's a no.
Unfortunately, it's not going to make the list, and Richie wouldn't have been able to help it anyway. But JDH, we're going to go back to you for your next nomination.
So, yeah, I'm kind of curious where I want to go with this. I'm going to do it. I already threw out one Warner Brothers animated property. Let's go ahead and throw out another one and give this one a try. I'm going to throw out one of the spin-off series from the popular Animaniacs series, and I'm going to throw out Pinky and the Brain. Another show that's kind of stood the test of time. A little shocked that it has not really gotten the push of any kind of remake, reboot that a lot of the other Warner Brothers series from that time did. I know it kind of got incorporated into the newer Animaniacs show, but I always thought that a brand new Pinky and the Brain series, especially in this day and age with the times we live in now, would have been perfect just to see them press those issues. But I'm curious to see where everybody stands on it. Obviously, it was never one of the top tier Warner Brothers animated shows, so let's give it a try. Pinky and the Brain.
Wolf, what do you say about Pinky and the Brain?
Well, you say it wasn't a top tier anime show. Probably the reason I haven't seen it. So I unfortunately can't really speak on it. But it is something I'm interested in seeing. It's not like I completely don't have interest. Like it's something that definitely I want to check out at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So,
JPO, what do you say about Pinky and the Brain?
JTH, me and you, at least on animation wise tonight, are simpatico. Because this is another one where I'm like, I don't know who's going to be with me on this, but it was 100% on my top 12 list here. 90s animation, again, I kind of mentioned with Batman. Comedy-wise, Animaniacs was great. This is a great spinoff. Like you said, we got a little bit glimpses of them in that reboot for Animaniacs. I'd love to see more, but what we got is great. So, yeah, this is on my list.
Got Richie back.
Yeah, sorry, I got a phone call.
It's all good. But I'll go back to you in a minute. But Pinky and the Brain is what's on the table at the moment, and it's an easy yes for me for Pinky and the Brain. I love this growing up, and and it's just a lot of fun, and I even enjoy seeing them in the reboot again. And honestly, I wish they do come around and reboot the actual Pinky and the Brain show too, because I think that's another one that you can easily do again. But Richie, what are your thoughts about Young Sheldon and Pinky and the Brain?
Young Sheldon, I feel like is Young Sheldon a spin-off, or is it a I feel like that's more of a prequel, isn't it? Like it's. I don't know.
I think you're splitting hairs. It's both.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fine.
I mean,
Better Call
it's an
Saul
list
is sort of
anyway,
like a
so,
prequel
yeah.
for the most part.
Better Call
and
Saul's
that's
both,
still-
yeah.
Yeah.
In a way,
yeah,
Sheldon's
I
also
guess
kind of
so,
both,
yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Because technically, they
Yeah.
do jump ahead with you see old Sheldon at one point.
Yeah. Well, Young Sheldon, I feel like I haven't seen much of it, so I can't comment. But I probably like it more on Big Bang Theory because the previews I've seen, I've actually liked. I've laughed. And picking the brain is something I was going to bring up soon. So yeah, I like picking the brain a lot. Picking the brain, yeah, is great, and I like it. So yes.
That Picking the Brain is going to make the list. So, Wolf, we go back to you.
All right. We've got one more spot left. And I cannot believe any of y'all have not mentioned this yet. Maybe JTH and I are the only old people here because him and I have seen some old shows. I'm a young gun, and I've seen older shows than you guys have. This is weird. I don't like what's going on here. Like, y'all are supposed to be older than me.
Show is...
It's 11 seasons worth. It is The Jeffersons, a spinoff of All in the Family, which is an excellent show, and this one is just as good. Really a powerful show too for like the African community, because I feel like this is the first time that we really got like a Black family that was like this on screen together. Like, it was really, really good. So I just think that it's got the popularity enough. It's iconic enough for sure. I mean, Tropic Thunder even quotes it. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go The Jeffersons. Just a great family comedy, and all the family have like great chemistry and are very dynamic and have their own personalities, and it's an excellent series.
Richie, what do you say about The Jeffersons?
I've only seen a few episodes, but I do understand. Like, I do understand like the cultural significance of it as well, and like I probably would like. I've seen clips, and I've seen a couple of episodes that I have seen I've liked. So, I might get around to it. And yeah, I think it's. I mean, yeah, so I don't know. I would say yes. It might not be high on my list when we go to rank them, but I would say yeah.
JPO, what do you say about The Jeffersons?
It was on my short list, but I do have things higher, so I'm definitely cool if it makes it. But for me, it's just like no.
Yeah, going back to things like Family Matters and that, like when it comes to these old shows, like when I was a kid, like my parents would be watching these old shows, and I used to be on this because like, oh, this is older, and go into my room and do something. But my only thing I know of The Jeffersons I'm pretty sure they appeared in the episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air once.
I thought you were going to say it was from Tropic Thunder, but I was going to say
I didn't even realize that they reference on Tropic Thunder. I don't watch that near as much. But yeah, so it's just gonna be enough from me. I just haven't seen the actual show. JDH, what do you say about The Jeffersons? So
it comes down to me. Well, it's nice that you referenced my age, all 10,000 years old of me. Older than dirt, and I invented dirt too. Jeffersons was a show that was 12 on my list. So I guess I wouldn't have a problem if it's on the list, but even though there's a couple more shows that I have a little bit higher than it, but I do have it 12. So technically, I guess I am inclined to have to say yes, just for that alone. So yeah, I'll put The Jeffersons on there, and that 12 went way faster than I thought it was going to.
Well,
I didn't think I'd be able to hear for the whole episode.
What I was about to say is like, Richie, did you say yes to The Jeffersons?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. For some reason I thought you said no, but it's
no.
Jeffersons
I said I usually wouldn't do it, but I understand the cultural significance of The Jeffersons. I liked what I've seen.
No, it's all good. That's why I double checked. That was
And I feel like we have Andy Griffith, but that's like an old sitcom. It was like I felt like we had to have at least some form of a 70s sitcom on here. I
Um,
mean, we do have Frasier.
Not necessarily.
but
Frasier's 90s.
I meant, yeah, my bad.
What?
but
It's 90s, my bad. I got completely wrong. I'm not good at release dates, okay?
Shut up, Wolf. Yeah.
notes if I've ever faced Wolf and Trivia do movie release dates. But anyway, with that brings us to the end of the nomination portion. So on the list we've got the Andy Griffith Show, Better Call Saul, Frasier, Angel, NCIS, Batman Beyond, Kenan and Kel, The Simpsons, The Flash, Star Trek Next Generation, Piggy the Rain, and The Jeffersons. Richie, do you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, there was this one I didn't bring up because I knew, like, I don't know if you haven't seen it and it's very different, but the Colbert Report, technically is a spin-off. And Daria, yeah, spin-off Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, that's kind of my other Mayans FC is a good show, which is a spin-off of Sons of Anarchy. But yeah, I knew that wasn't gonna make the list. Yeah, other than I mean, back from childhood, the Amanda Show, also a spin-off of all that. Yeah, but those are the sort of the ones. I'm sure there'll be other ones that other people bring up that I'm like, oh yeah, that one. But I'm surprised you didn't bring up Xena, the warrior princess.
But JPO, what are some honorable mentions that you had?
Oh yeah, my next one I would have brought up, which I think is great, still on to this day. Last thing in the original, Law and Order, SVU. Give us some Hargitay. I left off this list. Other than that, though, I did enjoy Girl Meets World. Seeing our Boy Meets World characters come back was pretty fun. Mama's Family, I really like Mama's Family, and I actually would have endorsed Xena too, possibly. I like Xena. That's about it. Oh, and SmackDown. If I could try to argue SmackDown. Spin-off of Raw.
Spin-off of NXT UK.
Oh, that actually I feel like is a real spin-off.
Look, if you'd brought it up, I wouldn't have brought it. I'm just saying. But some of the honorable mentions that I had, I had Legends of Tomorrow on my list. I had the Winchesters, the spin-off from Supernatural. I had a lot of fun with the show. I know a lot of people didn't. My next one was going to be Girl Meets World. Because I think it's fun and one that is a relatively new show that but I'm really enjoying the Wizards Beyond Waverly Place as well, and I not that I expected anyone to go with me, but I probably would have brought up Fuller House. So JDH, what are some honorable mentions that you had?
Pretty much quite a few of the What a Cartoon shorts, because again they technically kind of fall into the spin-off series. So Dexter's Lab, Powerpuff Girls, I think were definitely two choices I would have made a case for. And also, even though it was not on the Wikipedia list, I technically do feel like this would have been a sequel or a spin-off, and I definitely would have made a case for it. Because if Iron Chef America is technically a spin-off of Iron Chef, then I would have made a case that the American version of Whose Line Is It Anyway is a spin-off of the original UK version. But unfortunately, we never actually got to that. Would have been interesting to see what the verdict would have been on that if it was even up for a nomination. But guess we'll never know.
Yeah, the Whose Line is definitely an interesting because I don't know where I would have landed on that personally because but Wolf, what are some honorable mentions that you had?
So yeah, there's a few. One that is more, but like I said, I wasn't going to mention it as an actual nomination because this show is definitely not done because it's only lasted one season, and that is Gen V, which is really good, almost as good as The Boys so far. But again, it could fall down at some point. So that's one I wanted to mention. Of course, Xena Warrior Princess. I thought that one was really good. Another one I wanted to mention is Ashley Star Wars, The Bad Batch. I was surprised how much I really like this show. I watched it, and it's a spinoff of the Clone Wars about like these side characters from the Clone Wars, and I thought it wasn't going to be all that great, but I was actually very surprised how much I liked it. So that would have been one I would have possibly brought up. Another one, talk about 2 childhood shows. So talking about another spinoff of the Amanda Show, which is Drake and Josh. That's one I would have brought up as well. Love that show growing up, and that's probably my favorite Nickelodeon show. And then another one from my childhood is, I looked it up, and this is a spinoff, is Dragon Ball Z. It's a spinoff of Dragon Ball. So I would have brought up Dragon Ball Z because I watched that a lot when I was growing up, and played all the games and everything related to Dragon Ball Z. So I was a big Dragon Ball Z kid. So that's one I would have brought up. So those are like my. Oh, and also, if we're talking about other Nickelodeon stuff, if it counts, I don't know if the new iCarly would kind of count as one, but that was one that was like on the bubble, like the Paramount Plus one that they did. That was like one on the bubble I was thinking about. But
yeah, the iCarly one, like that's definitely like a interesting one. I haven't seen. I think I've seen 1 or 2 episodes of it. I think I'd like. I think it's more of a sequel series, but I don't know. It's one of those tricky things. Some have come up in the chat. First off, I don't know about this one. But it's once again, I don't think it counts because I don't think Superman's ever in the episode of Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
But other ones we've got Perfect Strangers, 911 Lone Star, Benson, Boston Legal, NCIS, New Orleans, and LA, Ashira, Sweet Life on Deck, Melrose Place. Leo brought up something called A Different World. Steve wants to know if Pretty Full Legacy would count as a spin-off.
Well, if you ever need to do a redux, you pretty much got a whole new top 10, 12 list right there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Stephen also brought up Trickle Millennium, which I have no idea what that is. As a joke, Brian brought up
AEW, but what would be a spin-off of?
All the wrestlers.
Spin-off of wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Star Wars Rebels. Wait, is Rebels counts as a spinoff? That was like
I don't know.
thing.
Once again, I don't think so. Honestly.
I mean, it had Ahsoka in it. I guess that's why he's thinking, because it had Ahsoka from Clone Wars in there at some point. So
yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
And then a couple I probably don't really. Brian also brought up last week, not John Oliver, which I don't think is a spin-off.
When I was doing research too, someone mentioned, like, there was one article. There was one article that mentioned The Mandalorian as a spinoff, and I guess I was like, "What?" But I guess because it technically, like, is considered a spinoff of the Clone Wars or something, since it has Ahsoka in there. And
I mean, it's that, or it's this, or they're calling a spin-off because it's just in general, it's a spin-off from Star Wars. But
it depends on exactly the article, because you do anything with Star Wars, then
because when it comes to spin-offs, I think a spin-off of The Mandalorian would be the Book of Boba Fett. I think that's a true spin-off.
Yeah.
If John Oliver, going back to last week, if John Oliver played his type of character in Daily Show that he does in last week, then it'd be a spin-off. But it's not, and it's also on a different channel. So it's just he got a show from being on Daily Show. That's
But onto it, ranking with that JD, how the ranking works is you're going to write down on the whiteboard what movie or what TV show you want at number 12, and then everyone and then whatever has the most votes gets through that spot.
Okay.
JTH, what do you have for 12?
I don't know if you can read it or not, but I have The Flash.
No.
Wolf.
I also have. I haven't written it yet, but The Flash. Yeah.
Richie.
I'd also have The Flash.
JPO.
And NCIS.
I mean, look, just because there was that debate on if it's a true spin-off or not, I actually put Star Trek Next Generation, but it's going to be The Flash at 12. Richie, did you want me to put the list back in the chat of
No, I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
So I know sometimes when you leave and come back, sometimes like the private chat disappears.
Yeah,
so
no, but I see it.
Yeah, that's all good.
Yeah. All right, is it me? Is it? Oh no, who's it?
Wolf, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's my turn. So the first one I'm going to say, next one I'm going to say for number 11 is NCIS.
Richie.
Just because I haven't seen as much of it, I'll go with the Andy Griffith Show.
JPO.
Oh, NCIS.
Sticking with Star Trek Next Generation. JDH.
I have Angel.
Wolf. No, Wolf started. It's going to be NCIS.
NCIS.
Alright. Richie, what do you have at 10?
I'll stick with Andy Griffith for now.
JPO.
Yeah. That theme song is Andy Griffith.
Sticking with Star Trek Next Generation. JDH.
Sticking with Angel.
Wolf.
And just because I haven't seen it yet, I'm also going with Angel.
It's a tie, and
Damn it.
and I'm the tiebreaker. Just because I'm probably more likely to actually watch one of these shows once I finish with the show that it spun out of. It's going to be this at 10.
Yes.
Oh, come on. But for the iconic.
No, fuck you.
Okay.
No, let's not be those people. Let's vote for the better show.
Okay. Well, it is the better. It probably is the better show too.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Iconic status is important when talking about of all time. By the way, like that is important to take.
Yeah, and it's on the list, so it made it. Now let's vote for the actual quality. They're trying to be woke.
Look, JPO, what do you have at 9?
Shit. Keenan Kel.
Star Trek Next Generation. JDH.
Sticking with Angel.
Wolf.
Yeah, justice for Andy Griffith. Sticking with Angel.
And Richie.
I'll go Pinky in the Brain.
But it's going to be Angel at 9. And I'll point out the list of episodes is just top shelf TV spin-offs, not top shelf TV show spin-offs of all time. Sticker of Star Trek Next Generation, JTP.
Going with Keenan and Kel.
Wolf.
I haven't had time to write it out yet, but I'm gonna go with.
What do you stall all the time?
Sorry, I had to look at the list. Simpsons. The Simpsons.
Fuck off. Pinky in the Brains.
JPO.
I'm gonna go to the Jeffersons actually.
All right, we've got a 5-way tie. We've got Star Trek Next Generation. We've got Kenan and Cal. We've got the Jeffersons. We've got Pinky at the Brain, and we've got the Simpsons. The first comment I see in the chat will decide on which one of those 5 is going to be put at number 8.
If
Did
anyone
you ignore
says
the
The
channel?
Simpsons,
There was people watching. There's about 4 people watching. It's still.
Oh, okay.
And I know if Brian's still here, and Leo is the first one that came in, and it's going to be Kenan and Cal.
Thank fuck. I just thought better with the Simpsons.
I mean, look, considering one of the people in the chat is Brian, I don't think we had to really worry about the Simpsons.
Well, if Leo's faster, then yeah, we do.
Well, well, he didn't go for the Simpsons though.
No, I'm just saying, like, just because Brian's there doesn't affect the other people's
Yeah,
opinions.
it's the
I
first
know,
come, first
I know.
served sort of thing.
Yeah.
But Richie, what do you have for 7?
I'll go the Jeffersons too.
And JPO.
Yeah, no, still Jefferson's.
Star Trek Next Generation, JDH.
The Jeffersons.
And Wolf.
Still sticking with the Simpsons.
Well, it's going to be the Jeffersons.
They moved on up to 7. That's it.
JPO, what do you have for 6?
Pinky in the Brain.
Sticking with Star Trek Next Generation, JDH.
Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Wolf.
I'm sticking with the Simpsons.
Richie.
Pinky in the Brain.
Oh, we've got 2 for Pinky and Brain, 2 for Star Trek Next Generation. Wolf, which of those 2 do you want at 6?
I think I'm going to go Pinky in the Brain at 6.
Moving on to 5. Sticking with Star Trek Next Generation, JDH.
Same here. Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Wolf, even if I have to ask.
Yeah, no, sticking with the Simpsons.
Richie.
I'll go Star Trek. Yeah.
And JPO.
Shit, maybe Batman and Beyond. I would have with those are again.
But Star Trek Next Generation is going to be at 5. Just to recap what we've got left, we've got Better Call Saul, Frasier, and the Simpsons and Batman Beyond left. JDH, what do you have at 4?
Batman Beyond.
Wolf.
The less superior anime series, Simpsons.
You're just now you're just trying
Richie.
to else. I'm gonna find your house. No, just kidding.
I'm not. We're coming for you, bro.
Batman Beyond.
JPO.
Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond.
Way better anime series. I don't know what is wrong with it.
Sure, buddy.
Moving on to number 3. Richie, what do you have for number 3?
Frasier.
JPO.
Frasier.
Also going Frasier. JTH.
I had Better Call.
Wolf.
The Simpsons.
But it is going to be Frasier. But now we're going voting for number 1 instead of number 2. And I think I know this is probably going to go, but
I swear it better not. Okay.
Calm down.
JPO, what do you have for number 1?
I'm gonna say Better Call Saul.
The Simpsons, JDH,
The Simpsons.
Wolf.
Better Call Saul.
Richie, it comes down to you. What's going to be
Ooh,
number one?
I like this. Actually, I don't like it. This is hard. The Simpsons.
Fuck me, dude. Seriously. Oh god. Okay.
Well, stop, dude.
Suck it.
You're a
Like,
buzz killer.
no, because the Simpsons rode off eventually. Better Call Saul stayed consistent
up.
for this whole run.
You're a
I'm just
buzz
saying.
killer, dude. Like, I'm actually glad he voted for Simpsons just to make you upset.
Well,
Dude.
anyway, to recap our top 12 TV show spin-offs. At number 12, we've got The Flash. At 11, we've got NCIS. At 10, we've got The Andy Griffith Show. At 9, we've got Angel. At 8, we've got Kenan and Kel. At 7, we've got The Jeffersons. At 6, we've got Pinky and the Brain. At 5, we've got Star Trek Next Generation. At 4, we've got Batman Beyond. At 3, we've got Frasier. At 2, we've got Better Call Saul. And number 1 is
Should be
The
number one.
Simpsons.
That's the official list. Deal with it.
Hey, don't interrupt the host. I thought it was a good list. Adrian should have been higher.
Look, it could have been worse. Better Call Saul could have not made the list.
Yeah, I would have quit the episode.
Yeah. I think I would have rage quit down there if it didn't.
Well,
So, but I'll just be glad Stephen was on Team Better Call Saul. Might have not made it to the top 3.
that's a strong list. That's in my 5, I think.
Thank you, Brian.
So,
But
Oh, Brian's probably not even seen an episode of Better Call Saul. Love you, Brian.
You are a salty bitch.
anyway, next week is going to be top 12 Ben Stiller movies. I'm pretty sure Ben Stiller appeared in an episode of The Simpsons at one point. I think maybe.
And
But
probably.
JDH,
He's in
where
Arrested
can people find you
Development.
online?
You can find me pretty much nowhere. This is pretty much the first time I've done anything online in probably a year. So nice seeing everybody. I'll probably see you by 2026. I was going to say 2025, but that's next month. So 2026 it is.
But Wolf, we can build on you online.
Yeah, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Mega Movies. I have a new Facebook actual account now, like not just like a page or a group. I have an account as well that you guys can follow on there. And I am making myself like a Twitter account, all sorts of different kinds of social media outlets that you guys can follow me on here soon. Yeah, I have a lot of fun stuff coming up. Like for our Thanksgiving watch party, we've decided we're going to do Pieces of April this year, which is one of the one of the best Thanksgiving movies. We're going to be doing a Thanksgiving drinking game with Austin here very soon for our monthly mistake that we do. And then also Awards Roundtable is going to be continuing. We're doing Glicked. We're going to be discussing the whole Glicked thing and if it is going to be if any of them will be contenders and whatnot. So yeah, stay tuned for all that.
Richie, we can build on you online.
I'm so glad I muted when I did. I almost sneezed on the intro.
I thought you were like angry that I used that like
No,
Glicked acronym. I was like, oh my god, he's taking back.
Yeah. No. If anyone cares, I feel better now. That's good.
Good. Bless you.
But yeah, no, I'm sort of in flux at the moment, to be honest. Yeah, like I do have things scheduled, whether I appear on them it's hopefully I do. But yeah, so I'm just in the process of moving, and I'll be in a new location next time you see me. But yeah, hopefully you'll see me on the Beetlejuice recast, which is coming out soon as well. and then you will see me on Lonely Marks, where we will recap Full Gear, which I watched on the weekend with Pez and Jordan Owens, right? Huh? And others as well. Yeah, I know. Okay, and by that I gotta go. Yeah, and that's Fern, and I gotta go.
I wonder if the AEW pay-per-view bought the boom. Only JPO probably get that reference. JPO,
I love those Costco double chocolate cookies.
We can move on your online.
Undefeated. You can find me at Costco. Their pizza's actually not that bad. Their hot dog's good too. But when I'm not at Costco, find me over at the Pierce Co. We do lots of trivia, top tens, brackets, all sorts of movie shenanigans. And then over at Pierce Wrestling, same idea, but for pro wrestling, exclusive matches, interviews, trivia, all that fun stuff. Popping up on this channel from time to time. Popping up over at World of Horror and Cineplex and all those other channels. Thanks for having me, Malcolm. You're a beautiful, beautiful man.
Yeah, I did actually watch that. I did actually watch that match. It was better than I thought it was going to be. Honestly,
not a lot of people forget or didn't know that dude. He was at least a legit wrestler for like 15 years. He wasn't just Joe Schmo that they're like, hey, let's get the cookie guy to do a match.
No. I knew he was a wrestler. It's just one of those ones like I didn't know much about QT Marshall. That I didn't know.
He's good too. He's been around for a hot minute.
But you can find me on Tape Productions hosting ranking every week. Next week will be top 12 Ben Stiller movies. You can also find me hosting my own show, Spear from the Past, over on my personal channel, Middle Earth Media. We're covering talking about NXT Takeover Rival tomorrow, and I've got Jacob Cameron on that. Maybe Richie will be there too, depending on his situation. And you can also find me. I'm popping up on Movie Network from time to time and doing other stuff all over the place. But until next time, that is the end of ranking for this week. And but until next time, see you next time. I really put.
Take her away, Ian.
Yeah, take it away, Ernie. It's going to be a bumpy ride.